So before we jump into this real quick, I just want to bring up something. We are starting to roll out a new, I guess you call it a feature for our Dimers Pro users about model insights and results, not insults. We do not want to insult our model. We're rolling out regular reports, pretty weekly, bi-weekly. I'm not totally sure exactly yet, but you can expect these if you are a Dimers Pro to get updated insights onto how the models are performing across money lines, spreads, and totals throughout all of our major sports. Our first one went out yesterday for the NFL. This is a little look at what you could expect to find. The bet types that are stinging, the sample size, so we're not claiming a big ROI on just two bets, substantial volume over the course of the season, and the general ROI for those bets. You're going to find ranges here because this is across all sports books. The odds will vary across books, but for the most part, we're looking at the consensus odds for these bets. And you're going to get little insights. Like you can see that head-to-head bets are returning over a 20% ROI, positive ROI there. Head-to-head edge ranges, that's money line, by the way, head-to-head. 2 to 5% has been the most profitable, also a very positive ROI. And this week we do have two bets that fit that, both underdogs, which is another reason you're going to see some good positive ROI on the money line. Is the model will find some underdog plays that are going to be high ROI returners because of the plus money odds. Panthers and the Dolphins this week both have that, fall within that range, have that upside. Your choice if you want to bet the Dolphins. I'm not going to give you advice one way or the other there, but it's what falls right within the range. And one more thing is we can look at the closing line and opening line value, seeing if we're getting better returns on the first predictions that go up, like our opening lines, or closing line if you wait till the very end and take the bet that the model recommends right before the games start. To get these, all you got to do is log into your Dimers Pro account, go into your preferences and select your favorite sports, and that's it. You'll automatically get them for every sport you've selected when they regularly roll out, and hopefully give you guys a little bit more insight into where the model is humming and help you find some better bets week to week, day to day. Just one more improvement we're trying to bring to everybody. So please go on Dimers Pro and make sure you set your preferences so that you can get these. All right. So with that said, let's dig in here. Pull up our first two best bets of the week. And I'm going to save our touchdown prop for its own little section, which you guys will see why when we get to it. But first up, both of these were in our early spread values. And both of them we just talked about as storylines for the game. So it seems like the model really has a lot of value in these two games this week. Both of them are some cross-conference clashes for a little bit of a theme. And we're going to start with the Cowboys-Broncos. Plus 3.5 for the Cowboys. This is moving a little bit, +3, +3.5. If you are going to bet it, I really think you should get the 3.5. If you have to buy a little bit of juice, I think that's fine. It's probably not going to be more than like 120, 130. And you're going to probably want that outside that field goal, because if the Cowboys are trailing in this game and trying to catch up and they're outside that field goal and need a touchdown, you might not want to get burned there. So anyway, we talked about a good bit about this one with the betting angles. Something has to give in this game, as we talked about. There's high-powered offense, elite defense. Really not much else to say besides that. The over-under and the underdog trend has been go-to, and I'm probably going to stick with that in this one. I'm going to play this as a straight bet, of course, as I always do with the model's best bets here. Really, I truthfully don't know what else to say about this one than we've talked about. It's prop angles in this game are really the ones I want to look at, because this one just seems to speak for itself. I don't know. You got anything besides that, Greg, for the line? I just think
we can move to props in just a moment, but we're very, I say we as in you and I, the showrunners of this podcast, right? I feel like we normally prepare these episodes and come in knowing what the model's plays are and try to add some of our own personal flavors that the model likes to. But we usually come to each episode, at least the Thursday episode, with like a pretty varied card, right? It's like 11 different things you could go after. You pick what you want. It's like a buffet of potential bets for the week. This week, like the value that our model shows is in these two games. And it's also like corresponds with the storylines we've personally found. Like it kind of, I don't want to say it's all or nothing on these games because it's not. That's not how you should bet. But it's probably the first time this season that we've done this show where I come into this weekend preview episode being like, oh, it's all in these two spots. And whether that will bear successful or not, I guess we will wait and see. To me, it makes me feel very strongly about these. Like if we were stack ranking the strength of my belief in each play we've given out from a best bet perspective from the model this season, these two are near the very, very top of the list for me because it just is right in line with everything else we personally want to add to the card. So let me ask you this before we go to some prop stuff. Both of these being, against the spread, you're getting over a field goal with Dallas, almost a full touchdown with Chicago. Do you personally want to take the money line with either one of these? And does the model show any value with money line for either one of these underdogs?
I can actually take a look real quick, see if we do. I'm not like, so I'm speaking more from the very subjective Cowboys fan angle. I wouldn't want to take the money line in this because I just want to watch this game and hope they win without having to worry about whether or not I'm going to lose a unit. As far as value, pretty much fair odds, 40.1%, 0.7% edge at plus 154. Plus 150 would be fair. So it's an appropriate price. I think if you think the Cowboys are live to win this game, it's a good spot. I'm more concerned about their defense than the Broncos defense. I think a defense that's good can only cap a team so much. Eventually there can be some leaking. A defense that is bad has no cap. It can just hemorrhage points and hemorrhage yards all game long. So that's why I like the cover. It's less to worry about in that situation, and you're less likely to get burned on a last-minute play. I mean, the Cowboys took the lead in that Packers game with 35 seconds left, and it went to overtime, and they tied. So they can't stop anyone, and if they're in that position, I don't know, you'd have to hedge the Broncos or something.
Yeah.
As far as the Bears, I'll take a real quick look. I think there is money line value in this. Usually when you see the spread this high, it's there. 1.5% edge. It's plus 245, 30% probability. So that should be, I think about plus 225 or so. So not a huge major value, but there's a little bit there. And if there is one I was going to take, it'd probably be that one. You're getting better odds. And for the reasons we have discussed and will discuss, I think the Bears are more likely to get the upset.
I want to fade this Ravens team every chance I get. And I truly am baffled by the 6.5 point spread. I think Bears money line will have to be a play for me this week. And I'm doing some mental manipulation of what my personal play is going to be at the end of the show. We're going to add Bears money line to it. More on that in just a few moments. You want to flip to props next?
Yeah, just a couple angles. More in the Broncos-Cowboys game than Bears, as we've pretty much talked about the rushing angle and will more. But there's pretty much 3 spots I think I'd want to target in this game for Broncos props, maybe 4. But it's a pretty good spot for J.K. Dobbins. His lines aren't probably going to be very friendly. Scored in his first 3 games, but just once in his past 4. Just under 50% to score from our model. If somehow you can get in at plus money, he's a good play there, but I just don't think you will, as he's clear. The running back is usually the minus odds, and this Cowboys defense is pretty bunk, so you're probably not. He's in line to have a really good game, so it depends kind of how deep you want to get into that. I don't usually like to ladder up odds or yards very high because the odds aren't quite enticing until you get to some aggressive spots. So for a running back, I think I'd look at RJ Harvey. The bane of many a fantasy manager's existence. He does have a decent shot here as far as receiving. The Cowboys allow the second most receiving yards to running backs, and 6.9 targets per game is the third most. So teams do attack them out of the backfield. It's not just dump offs falling into the hands of the running back. Dobbins hasn't had more than 1 catch since week 1. Just 10 total targets this season. Harvey has 3 targets in 4+ games. 3+ targets in 4 games. Spike week of 40 yards. We project him for 17.4, and he's just about even money at 15 receiving yards. If you can find that in the first quarter, I'd hammer that 5-10 in the game. I think I would look at 15, 20, 25 receiving yards for RJ Harvey. Only 1 or 2 catches could do that. And while we're taking the running back for receiving, I'm going to look at the quarterback for rushing. Cowboys allow the second most rushing yards to quarterbacks, slightly inflated by week 1 versus Hurts when he had over 60. But Bo Nix has at least 5 carries in 5 of 7 games this year, coming off a 48-yard game versus the Giants, and he's plus money at 25 yards. We project him for 27. So I think there are 2 unique angles. Running back receiving and quarterback rushing are probably what I would attack in this game. If there's a receiver you're looking at, I think I would look at Troy Franklin. Almost 50% more targets than Marvin Mims. We have him about similar yards projections, but he just gets the better volume. He'll be less pricey than Cortland Sutton to go for yards. And as we have talked about many times, the Cowboys will let second and third receiving options beat them all season long.
I like it.
Yeah, so there you go. Those are our bets. Not a whole lot to discuss as we've talked them up, but a lot of angles in these games. Hopefully we'll hit a good bunch, and we'll be chatting about this on Tuesday because this is where my attention will be on Sunday. And they're in different windows, so you could basically just kick your feet back and watch one and then the other.
I'm in. You've got me sold. It sounds great. Reminder for all of this in real time on your own, access it whenever you want. You need Dimers Pro. And if you need Dimers Pro, you can get Dimers Pro for 50% off with promo code podcast. This is the model Dave and I use to inform all of our plays. We try to show it off as much as we can on the show. If you watch the video version of this, we got screenshots from it. Sometimes he'll just go full-blown screen share for you. You probably should watch the video version of this instead of just listen to it if you have the capabilities of doing so. But get it yourself too. Make sure that you can just log online, go to dimers.com and take advantage. 50% off, promo code podcast. You won't want to miss it.